We right now, and I'm talking about all the souls that feel the same way that we do. We have the opportunity to rebuild the world using this technology that has been created by these private parties,
Hmm.
funded by these bloodlines,
Yeah.
um, inspired by higher beings.
Yeah.
And we have the opportunity to create a level playing field.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Reborn 13 podcast with the Genie. And for today's episode, I have a very, very special guest on for you all. Now, his name is Johnny, and when I first stumbled upon him online, he absolutely blew me away with what he was capable of with regards to the human body and fulfilling the human potential. Now, not only that, he has a very interesting idea which he himself is embarking on a new journey whereby he is paying people to work out to become a better version of themselves through the use of crypto and these new technologies. And in this coming episode, we dive deep into everything from simply how you can tap in to your infinite potential to the way in which these technologies are going to allow to revolutionize the world in ways that we may not even be able to see possible right now. So I cannot stress enough that you 100% want to stick around for this entire podcast coming up, because there is so much value in it, and I had so much fun speaking to Johnny, and we covered such a broad range of subjects. I am sure that for all of you there is going to be something that you can learn, that you can treasure, and that you can take away for you to become more fulfilled, more joyous in your journey through life, but also ideas for you to become more creative as to potential projects which you could go forward and work on utilizing crypto and these new technologies which are available to us. So my friends, without further ado, I'm going to stop speaking here and I'm going to allow the podcast to roll. And if you are excited, make sure you hit that like button down below now and leave any comments that you have throughout flowing through your mind as you are listening, because I will be so intrigued to see what you guys have to add to our conversation. But without further ado, let's do this. Right, Johnny.
Man, couldn't wait to get with you, Genie.
Let's get this started now. Where I want to begin with this is just basically, I guess, briefly, just give me a short kind of representation or background of Johnny himself. Where are you? Where have you come from? And then we're just going to roll from there. So let's go, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, Genie. It's amazing to finally be able to speak together. Right now I'm coming from Oakland. We are in the middle of an incredible situation right now where we see, one of the highest populated areas of COVID. And so for me, where I'm coming from is I just want to help the world learn how to bob and weave through what's going on, because it really is kind of like this black swan event that they always say, right? Where it's like it caught everybody off guard. But the thing is, I've been hiding under a rock for the last 10 years, just kind of putting in work, doing the reps, helping the people. And, I've never really wanted to speak up before because I thought I wasn't ready. But when the pandemic hit, I was just like, yo, the people need to know the truth. And it didn't matter whether it was me giving it away for free or me just tweeting it out and having one person seeing it. It was just more about like, if I could go to sleep knowing that the truth was out there, it would help somebody. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
all of a sudden we're talking, and now there's a possibility that we have the chance to help the world earn money for working out and get paid in crypto. Come on now. Who wouldn't want to do that?
So go into that, man. Like, tell me, because that's obviously your creation right now. From what I understand, that's the
Thank
route
you.
you're heading down, and I love
Yes.
that as an idea, because you're motivating people through the use of essentially money. But what you're doing is you're giving them time, or you're giving them the means to be able to create the time to be able to work on themselves. So,
That part.
give me more info on that, because I am super interested
Yes.
in that.
Ever since I found out about crypto, I saw it as like a dangerous road, right?
Hmm.
I wasn't ready to enter. I didn't have my license yet, you would say. And so I spent the time doing the research, and I started giving my own self permission so that I wouldn't need anybody else's permission to enter. And that was the whole point, and kind of why I pursued crypto, because it was such an unregulated market at the moment, that, or so I perceived, right? I perceived it that way because not knowing anything, I perceived it to be unregulated. Little did I learn after doing the research that it is very much regulated, and there is a lot of structure since like 2014, if not sooner. These companies have been putting in the work to make sure that there is, I guess, what is power back to the people in a way, but still there's control of financial institution for like global financial trade, right? And so it's kind of like you have this road where it's like, yeah, let's fight for the people, and then there's the other road where it's like, yeah, let's keep track of everything, right? And it's this road where people don't want to enter because they're like, if I put my money into the wrong coin and all of a sudden it drops, it's not worth it for me anymore, because they see it as this is a profits game. And the way that I started looking at it was like, how do we free the people by incentivizing the people to learn the truth about the human body and rewarding them with a token that maybe 2-3 years from now, it'll have incredibly high value. And even right now, they could still use it for perks like vacations, buying education, learning about blockchain, creating their own token. And so I started thinking like, I could give away a token that is made up by me that has absolutely no value. Let's call it a meme coin, and start giving away tokens. Fuck it. Let's call it a fun coin. And I could have given it away to the people, but it would have absolutely no value to anybody other than the people in my community. And so that wasn't going to work for this structure of paying people to work out. And, the reason I did it is because there had to be a way for me to get people in India, Mexico, France, Germany money if they did something for my network.
Yeah.
And so this led me to, well, which coin is going to solve the cross-border problem? And then I realized, like, man, I got into XRP too late, yo. I don't know about you, man. Genie, what time you get in, man? Let's be honest here.
I actually got in, my first XRP purchase was late 2017.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about, man. Holy cow.
This is, I guess I could kind of quickly branch off on a little bit of me here, when what the majority don't understand with my journey.
Yes, sir.
Is that XRP was what took me out of the destructive path. I was fully consumed within the matrix system where I hadn't even asked the question of what was beyond it. And it was such an integral shift to me that the value which XRP has given to me as a person before it's even increased in price is beyond what I can explain. So from that itself, I have a deep connection and almost gratitude for XRP. And that's really why, like, my channel and everything I do is primarily based around that coin, because I feel I have a deeper connection with it. And it sounds mad, but it's just the truth of what's happening within. And I think crypto's done that for a lot of people. It doesn't necessarily have to be XRP. XRP seems to be that coin, but I think it has been what has allowed people, or at least shown them, a different path and a different perspective on the world. So I imagine that's probably what happened with you as well.
You said it beautifully, my friend. I think even knowing that, since you got in that early and knowing how attached you are because of how it's been able to free you, and I think that that's exactly the attachment I started to develop to the coin. And I had to realize, okay, this coin is the most amazing thing I've ever seen, hands down. But am I going to throw every single dollar I make at it? And then I started thinking to myself, all right, let's be honest. I mean, I look at you and I'm like, yo, this guy is a genius. He's not only the genie, but he understands how to leverage the internet. And that to me is what a real ATM does or
Yeah.
what a real bank does.
Yeah.
You leveraged not only your time, your wisdom, your network, your creativity, your artistic skills, and you literally, I mean, you blow my mind when I think of it, bro,
Thank you,
because
brother.
you created so many different sources of cash flow by being you that honestly, nobody could stop you from being you and being a genie, appearing wherever you want, whenever you want.
But that is, you've kind of hit the nail on the head. And the whole idea, without getting into a deep rabbit hole here
Yeah.
about myself, the whole idea of the genie came
Yeah.
from the source of me wanting to be me,
Yeah.
because I had opened up to this reality whereby I knew the character I was playing was
That
not the
part.
guy I was. So
Wow.
I wanted to create a character which was who I was, but I was so scared in the beginning of who I really was that I put it behind the genie. But in saying that, what the genie allowed me to do was go at it with no
Wow.
fear. And because I had no fear
That's
of the
it.
judgment, I was then able to be purely myself. And the most shocking part of my journey was that when you're real, when you're 100% real and you're just trying to help people from the deepest part of who you are, people resonate with that no matter what you're telling them. And
That's it.
that's where my whole kind of journey started, the reborn, the genie, and that was where it all sourced from. And it's been a beautiful journey ever since, and I've learned so much from everyone, the whole journey
Yeah.
itself. And
Watching you has been amazing, bro.
thank you, man.
You literally are an inspiration because how do I say it this way? Everybody is meant to lead. And they don't realize it yet. But the thing is, nobody knows anything other than what they just did the moment before. And if we could just say that I do a push-up and then I explain it to somebody right then and there, then the experience is fresh in my mind, fresh in my body. I might as well articulate it and help somebody learn the basic steps that I took to overcome that current moment or struggle. And my whole life has been about that, which is why what you just described is so amazing, because I had to learn how to let go of the identity that I was just a personal trainer and that I was going to be in a gym my entire life. That was the hardest thing to break past, because as a personal trainer, having personal knowledge and experience with the body, I didn't have my own personal economy under control. I had an economy, but I didn't have my personal economy or my resources well under control. And you said XRP started to help you kind of make that decision that freed you. Well, my dad gave me some money a year ago. This was like the end of 2019, actually, 2 years ago now. And he was like, what do I do with this? I have this money. I'm about to lose my job. What do I do with it? And I said, shoot, I don't know. I'll help you invest it. I was like, I'll help you. I'll do the research. I got a gym. I got some time. I'll stay up late and I'll do the research. And, we did the research, and all of a sudden it led me to the stock market. I bought him the traditional stocks, which were the Amazon, the Microsoft, which was the Ford, all the brands that he's grown up listening to. And then I realized, I was like, shit, this market's going to crash. And I don't know anything about the market. I'm just playing what I think I know about the market. How about I go somewhere where there's so much people giving out free information about what is going on, and maybe I can catch the crypto market before it gets regulated so I can be a part of the transition. And so I remember getting in, and the market wasn't even $1 trillion, right? So it was under $1 trillion. And so seeing that mark, to me, when I saw that transition happen kind of like last December, where we kind of were early January this year, where we crossed that 1 trillion, I was like, holy shit, I made the right decision with XRP. And so exactly what you went through, I put all the money that he took out the stocks, we put it into XRP. And I said, I'm only going to make one move. Instead of being everywhere, I'm going to make one move. And we got in when it was like 16 to 22 cents. We put all his stuff in there, and then it rose up. And so we took advantage of it. He was able to do a nice little profit. He's been able to grow it up and down. And, we really had to sit down one day and realize, like, is this what we're going to just do? XRP? And that was a tough moment. What about you? When did you come to realize, like, okay, it's time to diversify?
Well, for me, what my diversification came in a different way,
Okay.
if I could put it, in the sense that because I've always had this deep connection with XRP, which I was explaining to you earlier, I've always been I guess the way I could put it is that I've had this path which I'm on, and I just feel that XRP is the guide which has led me down it. Yet actually crypto in itself, it was, I didn't want to confine myself just to that. And that I felt that if I put too much focus in just purely crypto, then I was missing out on everything else. So where I guess I'm going with this is that the diversification came more in me thinking about how can I leverage my time whilst I wait for XRP to do its thing. Then I haven't got to be able to, or I then haven't got to be in that position where I'm depending upon what XRP does. And how can I build out what I am firstly, and then be able to share that with the world? And that's part of the whole platform itself. So for me, it's been that kind of situation. And I preach this across my whole entire platform, whether it be Instagram, Twitter, or my YouTube.
I'm on Telegram, bro. I'm on that. You're the truth.
Literally, you've got to utilize the time that you are waiting to build yourself. It is about building that inner wealth, man, and you know this. And if you utilize the time efficiently, the wait doesn't matter, because you realize that it's not about when XRP goes to X or Y price. It's about what you've become as a person.
Yes, the personal hormones you create within yourself that allow you to make the decisions to then use your money to buy XRP, which is guaranteed freedom in the future.
Yeah, exactly. Now,
but those hormones, oh man.
On this point, because we're right in the thick of it now. This is where I want to kind of get into your mind and your expertise, because what you have done, or what you do with the human body, when I first saw you, instantly, I'm not even joking, my jaw dropped with what you're able to do. And what I may actually do is edit in a clip just here now to kind of show people what you're capable of, if you don't mind, with some of your videos.
Oh, bro, if you're ready, man, I'm so grateful that you even show that. Thank you.
Honestly, and tell me, like, how you've even managed to get to that point, because through my fitness journey and my fitness experience, that I know what you do is beyond hard. Beyond, it's a next level. So explain that to me, bro, because I am so intrigued.
It is one of the funnest things I've ever done, man. The challenge of not being able to do something, that's where it all kind of started. You know, somebody said to me, hey, I can do this. And then I looked at myself as a person. I said, could I ever do that?
Yeah.
And it was introduced to me the right way for me. And so what I think happens is, when you see me doing those things, you see somebody that's been doing it for about 7 years now, and strictly only body weight fitness ever since I became paralyzed. I was born with a deformity in my back.
Wow.
And what happened was, I wasn't aware of it until about high school, when I tried to pursue my dreams of becoming a professional football player. And I'm a small guy, and I used to play soccer. So the only way I could ever make it to the pros was to be a kicker. Right. So I started being a kicker, kicking every day. And then my back gave out on me. Little did I know that my spine wasn't fully developed. So you know how your pawns are supposed to be on top of each other and you got a disc in between. Well, one of those things on the side, it was missing. And so my disc just kind of pushed outwards. And so I lost my lower half when I was around 17. And then I lost it again when I was 20. And all my 21, 22, I had to rebuild myself. And I was just in the physical trainer's room, just doing work every day, rebuilding myself. This is a transition from senior year to going to college. I ended up getting a scholarship to go play football in Nebraska.
Wow.
And I was a kicker in Nebraska, and I became an All-American kicker for NAIA. And it was a process of rebuilding yourself, right? So that was 17 all the way to about my 20s. And then when I opened up my gym when I was here in California again, I tried to do a backflip and I got injured again. And learning the backflip was just a little bit too far ahead of my current level of fitness. Could we agree? And at the time, I didn't realize that there was levels of fitness. I just thought athleticism means I could do anything I want. Boy, was I wrong, bro. Oh, man. And so I think it kind of sounds exactly what you're saying, that there's levels to this thing, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't know that at the time. I just thought, shit, I got a six pack. I should be able to do it. And that's the first misconception that I really like to address with people. You know, it's that.
Go for it, man.
What you are, what you see, it's nothing about what you are. And if we can help people understand that there is this big connection between mind and body, and it can only be taught through the art of calisthenics. And it's an art. It's the craft of the human body and mind connection. It's not really hard to comprehend. It's just the idea of, can you put all your concentration into one thing and become one?
And I love that.
All concentration. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I honestly, man, I want to touch on that point because myself, I've gone through a crazy journey with, I guess, those experiences, as I realized probably about a year and a half ago now, so very recently, that my cells, my muscular cells on a deep level were corroded, right? And I'm sure this is going to resonate, and I'm actually going to probably hit a few nerves here with some people that I'm speaking to. And what has been one of the absolutely most shocking revelations to me on my journey is the amount of tension I stored in my body. Now, there is a great quote which is so simple, and it is, your issues are stored in your tissues. And the idea behind it is that your cells, like you say, are part of you. So where this all ties in is that mind and muscle connection. The deeper I started getting with my muscular connection, with my mind being able to actually feel my muscles, I realized that I was so solid and so stiff, but at the absolute core of my frame. And that was literally what was holding so much dense emotional energy. And
up the spine.
Yes. And the journey to, in fitness, most people see fitness as this way of just like getting in better shape, looking better, maybe feeling a bit better. But there's such a spiritual aspect to it, which is understanding that your buried emotion is stored within your tissues. That dense darkness which you hold on to is right within the muscles. And to be able to fully express yourself as a human in your infinite potential, like you are supposed to with each and every day, you need to be able to develop that connection firstly, and then be able to basically bring all that up to the surface and heal it. And that is the healing process. But what you do on the bars wouldn't be possible without having done that, because you would literally crack yourself in an instant.
You know, you said it best, man. I call it active meditation.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I love that.
People want to go ahead and have still meditation. That's great. Mm-hmm. I'm just too much of an aggressive being.
I can relate, man.
Because, there's these demons inside of me and I got to fight them every day. It's like the only way I can guarantee that I win against those demons is to face them early in the morning and to prove to them that I could do what I did yesterday, and I'm going to come back for some more later. And so what happens is you wake up with the intention not to make money, but to always settle your traumas and start fresh.
Yeah.
And what happens is you settle the traumas that maybe were there from the day before by movement. And then all of a sudden your mind feels like it's running on endorphins. And because endorphins are that hormone that you get from the workout, well, shoot, now your mind is able to be creative. Most people don't enter a creative realm. They live on one side of the brain, the left side, right? They're very logical.
Yeah.
They want to get into the right side of the brain because this is a dance of hemispheres. If people
100%.
they need to learn that if they don't draw or create, they're going to be stuck thinking. And that's why I love what you do, because your craft is beautiful in the sense of you bring the truth through art and combine it. And the curiosity is the financial knowledge you bring to the people. You've helped me tremendously when I was in doubt, when I didn't believe something. I just said, fuck it. Let me go look at what Genie said. and it's true, though. That's the power that you've led to have, and well, at least within my own reality.
Thank you.
And you know, the truth is, it was all caused because you responded back to me. That right there separates you from the entire world. Yeah. Because now he's not a person on the internet. He's a soul who's ready to help. And that to me told me, I'm like, damn, no matter how busy this man gets, I can wait. Because if he responded back to me once, it means he's not just there to speak and promote his thoughts. He's actually there to make sure that if there's a thought that maybe is misleading, there is clarity. And I love that about you, man. And so I'm really thankful for that, because that's one of the things that people seem to have this kind of problem with me about, that I'm always busy and I'm always serving people. So in the pursuit of knowledge, I don't really always acquire, write down, or track all my sources. And so it becomes one of these things where, like, I learn information and I don't just spill information. I actually learn information and I see where it fits into my entire system that I have for the body. And then I'm like, okay, if it seems to make sense, I'll add it. Yeah. And then I'll test it. And then I can give you my personal experience with it. And then after I have my own personal experience, I can do the research to see who else got that type of experience. And then I can give you some feedback. If that's the case, that's how I do it. But whenever I find something, like with a lot of these people that they're coming out of COVID right now, and they're like, hey, how do I come back from COVID? And they're asking me, hey, give me a meal plan for COVID. And I'm like, holy shit, man, I haven't had COVID yet. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. But it becomes something where I had to realize, all right, what could I share with them that will change the perspective of how they see themselves? And so this whole project that I've been working on about getting people paid to work out, I couldn't do it by myself, to be honest with you. It's something that is so much bigger than me, that no matter how I feel about the idea, I have to be very honest about the idea. It is such a big project to try to help the world that you should probably get at least 30 or 50 heads involved, right? Just saying. Yeah. And so we focused on doing that for the last 3 months. We've been focusing on building this group of decentralized leaders that could help the world see the truth about the human body. So I've got everybody in there and just talking about what is health. We came to agree that health is an electrical body. Okay, great. How the heck do we get an electric body though? And so it's awesome, right? So we have these things where we know what we know, but it's how do we get it down to like street level knowledge? Because it doesn't matter what you know and what I know. What matters is how do we get it across to the person? 100%. And it's so beautiful how you do it, because it's artistic. The crypto system that you created, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Once I saw it, I was like, I'm gonna shut up. I'm just gonna shut up. There's nothing I can do that could surpass that right now, because it's not in my artistic abilities. Yeah. But when I see that, oh, bro, you helped me raise my personal bar. So it was one of those things where, like, if I speak, I need to be at least that good, right? It's just that simple. That's what we are here to do for each other. Help us raise our personal bars. 100%. And it's not like you're standoffish. You've always been so welcoming. But you know why that is?
Go for it.
You made one decision. You made a financial decision. Instead of thinking in the now, you thought about the future. That one decision changed everything, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's where I guess I could go with this is when I stumbled upon crypto and I realized essentially, because I got so fascinated by the banking system, by everything
Right.
that was with the powers that be, with the way in which the world was run. And when I started figuring out for myself that nothing we had been told was real, literally
Oh man.
zero, zilch. The first thing on my mind was, wow, people need to know about this, right?
That part.
But the only way in which I was going to be able to spread that in a way that I enjoyed was being creative with it, was creating something which was real to me. And that's where the whole platform essentially birthed itself out of. And I think that's the best advice I could give to anyone.
Yeah.
Is that when you're real and when you're absolutely true with yourself, it doesn't matter what you say, because you're just being true and you can't deny the truth. And that's
And
what
being
it's all
obsessed with
about.
that.
Yeah. And if anyone doesn't agree with what I say, when you've said it from a place of truth, it's like, okay, cool. You don't agree. Maybe one day we will come to a resonance there. But for right now, we'll agree to disagree, because I'm not trying to force my view upon you. I'm just showing you my truth. And that's
Yes,
what
sir.
it all boils down to. And that's where I see crypto,
Oh.
essentially. And obviously, like I said, XRP is such a blessing to me, because
Oh.
what it did for me was it showed me the truth about the way in which the world functions, at least on a level, right?
Well, I think, and to go back to the name of this entire conversation as we earlier addressed it, it's human evolution.
Yeah.
Right. To question the system, it leads to innovation of the system.
100%.
And this is all we're here to see through, right? Like, we cannot leave this place the same we found it. We got to leave this place better than we found it. And the idea here is that most of us cannot imagine anything else further than financial restraints and stuff, because we're limited by the system. Now, let's take a second to imagine that for the first time in maybe a few generations, there's a chance to level out the playing floor. All right, let's just say that. And if there was that opportunity, what would you do? Would you stand on the side that would do something about it, or on the side that wouldn't? Mm-hmm. And then ask yourself, if you could do something about it, let's say you stand on the side that is going to do something about it. Are you going to do something about it for yourself? Are you going to do something for your community? Are you going to do something for your legacy? Or are you going to do something for the world? Mm-hmm. Because now you got choices. Mm-hmm. And these choices can only be made if you have the right information and mentors. Then the last piece is time. And you addressed how to get time. Yeah. Because to get time, you have to take yourself out of that concern of, am I getting enough money? Well, you made a decision early on that paid off, that liberated you. It mm-hmm. gave you time. Mm-hmm. Now that you have time, you could think of how to create. Most people don't have the time to create. Yeah. And so all of this starts to then create these conflicting ideas of what is the right way. So everybody starts to fight for their own ground. Nobody is trying to help the people. And what do I mean by that? Well, what needs to happen is that because of the technologies of crypto, we need to stop thinking, and I'm not talking about you. I know that you obviously were engaging in this for a reason. You're helping me get the word out. But people need to stop thinking about profits. Like, that's all I'm saying. Yeah. People need to start thinking about what could the technology do to free everyone. Yeah. And then start moving forward with that perspective. Because the truth is, and I'm going to address XRP and XTC here, because I built my entire platform on XTC versus XRP, right? This is the most important things to kind of address. If I were to give advice to anybody starting up their own blockchain business, we are putting our integrity on the line. We are putting our character on the line. We are putting our reputation on the line. And when I first started doing business, I hid behind the business and I didn't want to show my face.
Mm-hmm.
And so because I started realizing that the moment I spoke to the people, I needed to show my face.
Mm-hmm.
The moment I gave myself wholly to the people, the day that I said, you know, how like Gary Vaynerchuk says, you got to eat shit for 10 years and then talk to the people.
Yeah.
I'm here, bro. I'm here.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years in the making. And you said, you see that what I do is at a whole different level.
Yeah.
But the way that I think and the way that we're about to create this decentralized autonomous organization, it's on a whole different level.
Yeah.
Because it's no longer about crypto profits. That's thinking down here. We're thinking about how do we free the people? How do we empower the people? And how do we help the people free their people and create generational wealth?
But on that point there, if you don't mind me quickly interrupting you, just because I have a bit flowing through my mind from that.
Hit me.
Where the majority, I guess, need to start is that understanding comes from understanding the technology itself. And
right, let's get back to that.
I think that's where a lot of people fall short, is because they haven't actually gone into the underlying technology, as, like you say, they're too focused on the profits and how much can this coin give me in return, rather than, okay, what is this coin actually? What
allowing me to do?
Yes, exactly. And that people have this almost negative perception around crypto because of the evolution of money itself and the history, and also just the current powers at play with the rich,
the media,
everything. And it comes down to, if you understand the way in which, like you say, that this new technology can actually be freeing to humanity, if you so understand the way in which it works, and what is key is the way in which you implement it into your lifestyle and what you do about it. And once you develop that understanding of the broader spectrum of these technologies, then you can go about creating on top of them, because you'll be able to utilize them in a manner which actually helps humanity, like you say.
And that's what they were created for, to help humanity.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it with, I mean, that was beautiful, bro. People just need to understand the technology. So these conversations, I think, like what Quincy has done, oh man, I mean, he and you have opened my eyes to a whole new world of what is possible. And like I said, man, you are leading us to the water if we choose to drink. And so the truth is, when we get there, let's say that we watch your content, and then you walk away from it and you're like, cool, I learned now what coin to invest in. And now you go buy some XDC. All right, great. You bought some XDC, you bought some XRP. Like, that's great. What are you doing though? Like, ask yourself, like, what are you doing? Are you just buying because you're following the trends, or are you buying because you're willing to innovate? Like, that's all it is, right? Because if you buy these tokens, and I like to call them tokens of freedom, right? Because you're basically saying, I'm willing to put away my money, this US fiat dollar, into this thing that's going to later become something. Well, what does it become when it's something? Let's just look at that, because it's not a high token value just for shits and giggles. This is a high token value so that way people in your community can get money sent back and forth faster with less tokens. So that doesn't cost that much on remissions, so that people don't get money taken away from them when they send money from country to country. Okay, great. This XRP token has great value if it's a bank coin. So why don't we start a business where you buy XRP and make it your bank coin? Okay, so that's what I did. I created an idea. Hey, I want to get the people paid to work out. And then I sold the idea and I put money behind XRP. And the more that XRP grows, obviously, the more that the bank will grow, right? So more money available to the people, I can send anywhere. Not only is it available to send anywhere, it's regulated. I can send it across borders. It can go fast, and it only costs me less than a 0.000.1, right? Whatever it is. So super energy efficient. The problem here, I can't create a decentralized app on it. Okay, so I go to XDC. And so my investment, my initial investment was distributed amongst different things, right? Another one was XDC, because we know that XDC is a smart contract token, and we know that it's going to allow people to get blockchain education through my degree.
Yeah.
We know that it has Trade Finex, and we know that it has Storex. And so these three different platforms that ZenFin offers allows me to bring value to my people. Okay, great. I like it. I got value. I got a bank. So now what's next is, do I have an idea that changes the world? Yeah, let's get the people paid to work out. Perfect. So what in crypto allows me to print out money like crazy? Ask yourself that. It's nodes. It's nodes, right? So the answer is get yourself a node. Don't buy the token. Think bigger. You got to think bigger. Don't think like you got pennies in your pocket. Think like you got billions in your pocket. What would you do if you had billions?
Yeah.
And if I had billions, I would buy machines that print money so I could have more money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I could give it away. Like, that's all I would do if I had the money. But because I don't have the money, let me go find the money. In order to get the old money to come into the new world, we have to realize that you first got to be educated on what the fuck you're doing yourself before you ask anybody that you want to take their money. And then you got to work with people that have worked with you. I mean, that have worked with bigger money than you have ever worked with. And so now we're looking for the missing players, right? Idea, bank, DApp.
Yeah.
You have a business. And so the thing that's missing here is the old money coming into the new world, getting these layers of education that they need to have in order to understand how money works in the new world. The new world is different than the old world. That's okay. What we want to do is that I've been putting together the best crypto heads that I know. I work with a lot of these different companies now. Currently, I'm doing business with 2 different blockchain companies. So our platform, Barcore, will currently be operating for the first 2 years on a specific blockchain, and then we are going to launch our own DApp. Nice. And when we do this, we are proving not only the system, but we are creating layers of governance before launching the DApp, which requires governance tokens to run. You can only enter our DApp to maximize the features that we have here if you have certain layers of governance. Now, here's where it gets really funny, right? In order to go ahead and get governance tokens, you can't buy these tokens, man. You got to earn them. And that's where the game changes, where people are no longer incentivized to use their dollars for acquiring what is called governance or permission into this decentralized network, but they now have to earn it. And by doing that, we help them learn what is called a basic standard of health. So I have 8 weeks to teach the world how to learn what an electric body is, right? Super simple. Right. So 8 weeks. Now imagine, what would you teach the world in 8 weeks to help them transition their old beliefs, which is a chemical body is healthy, and then into the electrical body?
Well, where I want to bring this to, because what's flowing through my mind right now is that everything that's coming from you now, at the root of it is your attitude, right? And this is the key part to it all, is that you have the attitude which is prepared to play the long game because you're looking at it from the bigger picture, right?
Very true. Very, very true, man.
Now, most people are in a position where they are not prepared to play the long game because they know the amount of effort it's going to require. So that comes down to a change in perspective upon the way in which you see your life. And this is what I stress, mainly across my YouTube and my Twitter. If you are complaining right now about the fact that the prices of these tokens haven't increased, your perspective is so far off. It actually hurts my mind, because the blessing that it is for you to be where you are now in this space, in this innovatory space, and what it's allowing for. And you are complaining because you're what, mid-20s, and you want your Lambo, but You're not prepared to wait
Yeah.
5-10 years for it. Your whole life is ahead of you. Plan for the big picture. But the problem is people are missing the attitude. They're not ready to put in that effort, but you've got that at your root. And this is what is key in the journey of life itself, is that you've got to be prepared to go up against your shit. And you got to wake up in the morning every day. And this goes back to what you were saying at the very start of this podcast was, if you wake up every day and you've got that mindset that you're going to go and defeat those demons and you're going up against it, but you're ready. You know you've got this, you know you've got that strength, and that you can battle whatever you've got to get yourself through to reach that better height, to reach that new expanse. Then that is the mindset which is going to allow for your life to just bloom. And
you got to fill up your own cup first, right? I mean, let's be honest. Before you said at the root, and I agree, because I feel the same way 1000%. That's why I look at you as a brother, that you at your root are willing to give, but to give, you got to fill up your own cup. It's kind of a weird thing, right? Like, I know what the root is, but I got to do this first. What do I do first? I can't give to you and then be deficient. And that's the thing that people don't realize. And so what we are introducing to this world, because you are 1000% right. It's all about, are we willing to put ourselves in a state of gratitude in the morning and just be like, well, I know what I have. Now I know what I want to keep. Because most people always think about acquiring, never keeping or fighting to keep it, right? Because fighting to keep what you got is the most important thing. I came to find a beautiful partner, and now I got to fight to keep her every single day, whether that's through actions, and I'm not the most romantic guy in the world, but I'll tell you this, my wife and I have conversations like you wouldn't believe. And we know the deepest parts of each other's souls. And so to me, love is not going on vacations and going get away and just having the big spoiling yourself. No, it's actually knowing that person deeper than the body, and knowing if their dreams have been present in their mind, can you help them achieve them?
100%.
And people don't give themselves wholly to the other person's dream, because sometimes they themselves don't reach personal financial stability, or the other side of the coin, they don't reach personal emotional stability. And it's a double-edged sword, right? You got finances and you got emotions, and together it's a game you play every morning. When you wake up, there's two thoughts. Do I love myself, and is my finances good? And if the finances ain't good, then you probably don't love yourself. And so it's kind of one of those things where, like, let's just address it for what it is. Stop being ignorant about the opportunity at hand. Learn about how to invest in cryptocurrencies so that you can start making at least a 50-cent donation a day towards your future. But the idea is that you gave it the awareness or the focus or the attention it needed. You faced it. Your finances are important. I was in the hole tremendously. This is why I started the whole story with my dad's money, because it wasn't my money. It was my dad's money. I didn't know how to do anything with money. I kept paying my bills. I didn't invest. I didn't save. I just kept paying my bills and going to eat, paying my bills and going to eat. That was like a Ouroboros, right? That's exactly what that is. It's just eating yourself up until you take your head out your ass and you realize, I'm eating myself up.
Yeah. And that is, I love that you brought it up in that way, because a lot of people see that symbol. They look upon it almost as if it has a way deeper meaning than what they can currently attribute to it. But in reality, it is just that, in the sense that it is breaking your cycle of destruction and realizing it, having the awareness to break out of that cycle and create something new for yourself.
That part.
And that is essentially everything that's happening with the crypto space right now. Is there are two paths, and I stress this all the time, that you can walk now. You have the path which is going to continue what the world has brought up and all of the destruction of past. And then you have the new world. And the new world is only going to birth itself if you choose to break that loop which you find yourself in. And if you're doing the same things every day, day in, day out, that you have been doing of past, which have only led to your own destruction and depression and despair, then all that's going to do is continue that. And right now, we are on that cusp, we are on that shift, that opportunity for you to rewrite your story, for you to birth yourself anew. And that is the phoenix rising. And a lot of people see the phoenix as a representation of what XRP is doing. But the way in which I see it is, no, XRP is what is showing you what you can do yourself.
Bam. That's it, bro. That's it.
The banking
so
system
true.
is failing, okay? The banking system is gone, right? It needs something new, but it's the same that's happening within you right now. We, as a human race, we have failed ourselves, and we are right now blaming it on other people. We're blaming it on the governments, on the institutions, on the banks. No, admit it to who it really is, because you're the one who's destroying yourself.
That's exactly it, bro. The lack of learning financial education and blaming it on the American government or this other government or that government. No, you could have picked up the book yourself.
Exactly. And it's about taking that responsibility.
Yeah. I love the fact that it's all brought us together. And you said it best, man. It's the being reborn. And each one of us is a phoenix, man. Yes. That's so beautiful.
100%. It's the truth. It's the fact that in any moment, you can choose to rebirth yourself. Yep. And this is why I love crypto, I love XRP, and I love everything about the community, because it is the sole focus is that rebirthing. It's that taking what is now outdated and bringing something new, bringing it to life. But we've got to choose to do it in our own way. And you're doing it. We're doing it as a community. Yes. And just the fact that people are listening to these conversations, everything's helping, and it's just beautiful, man. And you spoke a lot about myself, but genuinely what you have achieved from the very small amount of what I've seen of you on social media, and also the journey which you're embarking on, what you're looking to achieve, and the way in which you're innovating yourself is truly honorable, man, because to have the courage, strength, and determination to battle that when the whole world is going down the opposite path and it seems like everything is against you and everything is falling apart, that is admirable, my friend. So truly,
this is the best. Thank you, fam. And, this is the best time to be alive, like you said.
Yeah.
And, we right now, and I'm talking about all the souls that feel the same way that we do. We have the opportunity to rebuild the world using this technology that has been created by these private parties, funded by these bloodlines.
Yeah.
Inspired by higher beings.
Yeah.
And we have the opportunity to create a level playing field.
Yes.
And, I have to choose my words very carefully because there's a lot of NDAs that were signed. And the idea being, how do we help the world realize the truth that not only is this reality within our own capacity of manipulation and manifestation, but as you mentioned, the creation of this self-rise of the phoenix should be with the intention of rewriting what is the human DNA. And it all starts with intention.
Yes.
And intention is what can rewrite our DNA more than epigenetics, because intention is the only thing that doesn't require your body to shift states or environments. But it requires an understanding of the channels of the brains and the currency of the body. The whole point in this whole transition of the Great Reset is to bring us back to an awareness of currency. But they are reminding us of the illusion of language.
Yeah.
And in the illusion of language, we have lost the truth or the secret. And the secret is the secretions that we secrete every day. And if people could see the secret, and learn that their adrenal glands are the root of their issues, that's what we're doing in the next 8 weeks. We have 8 weeks to teach their people how their adrenals work, and we are willing to pay them to learn along the way.
I mean, I literally couldn't have put it better myself in the way in which you just explained that, with regards to people understanding that you are not subject to this physical nature,
Right.
that you are actually a power which dictates it, and that
Yes.
if you can tap in and understand that power that lies within you, that is your very source, that is ever present and always there, and then utilize that to manipulate your energetic makeup, which essentially is rewriting your DNA from the absolute root for you to grow stronger, but also in the process of doing it, become more fulfilled, because you will realize that your true essence is this infinite potential, and that you have the ability to create absolutely anything. And the fact that you are in using your power to create what you are now, I think is absolutely beautiful, because it is so pure and it is so needed for what is actually going on in the world. And it's beautiful in the way in which I look at it, because so many people are trying to solve from the money issue, but you're combining it with the health, which is so important.
Thank you, bro. It means the world that you would even see me that way, because it truly just comes down to the fact that I've been there having absolutely nothing, no legs, no money, by myself.
Yeah.
And when you look at it that way, I want you to just kind of, for a second, I'm sure you've done it, because it seems like we're very much aligned. But as a question to anybody who may be watching, how do you want to be remembered?
Mm-hmm.
And it's that question that if you really just focus on what did I achieve, it doesn't really sit good with me, but more like what was left because of me, or what is going to grow because of me.
Yeah.
And this shift in regulation, technology, systems, finances, whatever you want to call it, these quantum computers and this cryptocurrencies are going to allow the world to be self-operated.
Yeah.
And the way I saw it was this: am I going to let somebody dictate my life? No.
Mm-hmm.
How do I make sure that that doesn't happen? I have to create a way that I like to get paid. How would I want to get paid? I want to get paid to work out. I want to be paid like a professional athlete. Matter of fact, I want to do what a professional athlete does. I want to go ahead and have somebody say, hey, Johnny, I want you to wear our shirt. And then anytime that somebody makes a purchase using your discount code, I'm going to go ahead and send you some money. Mm-hmm. That sounds good, right? Why not? Well, that's called affiliate marketing. People look at it as a bad thing. Well, Donald Trump made it legal. He started, Trump University, made the whole thing legal. If I didn't learn the legal process of how he did it, I wouldn't feel so excited to do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
The truth is, influencer marketing, MLMs, all these things are a problem, but they're legal.
Yeah.
Hey, what could you do about it? Here's what you could do about it. You create a decentralized autonomous organization. Mm-hmm. Nobody is on top. You put a protocol, a consensus algorithm at the top, and you make everybody play by the same rules. You decentralize the wealth. You make the money go to charities. You make the money go ahead and start micro loans, a little funding hedge firm, so that way anybody with an idea can go ahead and have their funding. You go ahead and make sure that for every time somebody buys a program, you go ahead and plant a tree somewhere in the world.
Yes.
How about somebody goes ahead and buys a program and you can donate $1 to somebody in the Philippines or Mexico so that they can have food for a day? I mean, this is the type of 5D world we need to think about, right? That's all it is.
But this is exactly the point I was trying to make when I was talking about the understanding of the technology itself, because only through that understanding that you can then go and create these things, because you see into the potential solutions that it can solve, and also the avenues in which you can make it work. And that's the key. And if people were to utilize their time researching into the underlying technology whilst they are waiting for the returns, they would be shocked almost in what they could then go and create themselves in that time, whereby they can actually benefit the world. And then when the wealth comes as a byproduct of what these technologies allow for, they will then have a basis and a foundation for the opportunity to then essentially leapfrog and go further and beyond than they could ever possibly imagine. And that's what I'm all about. That's what you're all about.
Yes,
and,
sir.
And all those people listening right now who are resonating with this, and it is going into you and it's hitting you on a deep level, you know it's there. You know it's there. And it may take some time. It may take some effort. You may face some crazy hurdles along the way, but it will be worth it, because you will be serving the purpose, which is why you are here, which is to give yourself up to the world. And like you said earlier, to create a better world for it, man.
That's it. And you mentioned technology. People overlook biotechnology.
Yeah.
Because this biological technology of ours to become an electrical body, to be a battery, to be a Tesla tower.
Yes.
That's what we are. People overlook the Tesla tower aspect of human beings. And I try my best every day to spend the time expressing myself, whether it's to one individual or many. But the idea being, if we don't get this concept across without charging the people, this is not going to work. And the most important thing is that this education should be available to everybody. The problem is people who are charging thousands for it are out of shape, don't move the part, don't know the part, and they just want to charge you for the degree.
But that's the industry of, or let me rephrase that. That is essentially every industry in our world right now. And I'm not saying that there isn't incredible individuals out there within every industry. What I mean is in the broader aspect. If you go to a doctor, the likelihood is they're overweight themselves. If you go to a personal trainer, the likelihood is they probably can't actually do what they're telling you to do. And this is the problem. This is the realness of it, is that we're living in this world of fake professionalism, in the sense that people don't actually know what they're talking about. They're doing it because they're essentially forced into that corner purely because they don't realize their own potential. And when you do, when you realize how infinite you are, you can then go about changing yourself. And then that's how you change the world.
Self-validation.
That's it.
I think we've lost that, and it's what is the way, the measurement, the numbers, what type of data, what type of analytics are you using to measure your personal validation of self? That's all we're doing here. And we have a way that we've created to create a huge innovative technology that's going to come out with our DAP, that's going to allow people to be able to earn on demand by working out, by being able to provide information, add value to the network. The whole point here is really that it goes back to self-validation, and people don't spend enough time thinking about one simple thing. The weight of your head. This may sound silly. I'm always coming without the cut information.
Do it. Let's go.
So your head weighs a lot, right?
Yeah.
But people are like this. What do you mean? What do you mean I have to think about how my head weighs? Look at me. What do you mean? Am I not carrying my head correctly? No, you're not carrying your head correctly. You got to lengthen your spine.
Yeah.
The only thing that matters every single day is, are you being aware of how your head is being moved in space? Because if you're leaning forward and you're rounding your shoulders, you're exposing your back. If you're picking up something and all of a sudden you shrug your shoulders up, you're moving like shit. You need to go ahead and make sure that spinal tensegrity, tension and integrity, tensegrity, spinal tensegrity needs to be the #1 priority in every single person's life. If there is spinal tensegrity in every single person's life, there's a better flow of electricity from head to body. That's it.
Well, I was about to touch on that point. Sorry to interrupt you there because you're
No. Let's go.
It also runs deeper if you run into the actual acupuncture meridian system, in the sense that your chakras are aligned up your spine, and this
Yes.
goes onto a level of energy which runs deeper than your physical makeup. And
Bam.
that if you are going to tap into the soul potential, or the infinite means, or the infinite ocean of energy that you have at your disposal, which is the Tesla Tower, which you're talking about, then how can it possibly flow correctly if you're not in correct alignment, and that your head, your neck, and everything going down isn't allowing for the channels to flow in the way in which they was designed by the greatest intelligence that gave birth to the universe itself?
It's too logical for people to understand, bro. That's the problem. It makes too much sense that they're like, you're kidding me. But what you said is so beautiful, because it brings on the next point, which is, okay, every single person, say they fix their posture. Hey, look, we're carrying our heads correctly. We carried a book on top of our heads. Great. Now what? How do I turn on the electricity? The thing is, we have been, by generations of manipulation and deficiencies metabolically, right? Because every time that we grow crops on the land, we pull out the minerals and we rob it from minerals that we really need in the body.
Yeah.
So every time that we're consuming these foods with less minerals, we come to realize that we are more calories than energy.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we want to do is bring back minerals.
Mm-hmm.
And so the mineral that I personally take is ormus. It's ormus milk. It's made out of sea salt.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not sea salt, sea water. It's salted seawater. It's my immigrant side is obviously showing. And the idea being is that we pull the sea salt out of the sea water. See what I'm saying? It's so hard.
Yeah.
And we make this Tyler is that guy that owns Piramana.
Yeah.
And so basically we use his products, and he's gone through the entire process with me, and he separates, the minerals from the sea salt, and basically makes it in such a concentrated form. It's like a divine milk. I don't know if you ever heard of the name manna.
No.
The Israelites used to use this in order to walk across the desert. They would live off the manna. It is this most powerful godly food. People don't know what it is. People don't know it's available. People don't know that it's easy to make it. People don't know that you can make it. If they did that, they would get rid of all magnesium deficiencies that they have inside their body. And as a byproduct, or as a consequence of that, their adrenals would turn on. The chakras start working again. Yeah. So the energy can start flowing up and down the spine again. So there's this, I guess 3 steps. Number 1, carry your head correctly. Number 2, get some movement in your life. And number 3, get some ormus. If we can help people do this within 8 weeks, I'm telling you, we can go anywhere you want with this. People will be able to earn XDC for working out, and they'll be able to eventually, if they participate with our ecosystem enough, be able to have governance over this decentralized autonomous organization. Meaning, if all of a sudden the Genie says, hey man, I think we need a new kettlebell workout that really can satisfy the need of somebody with a lower back injury, does somebody have it? The first person that creates it gets rewarded. And the idea being here, the rest of the people that create it, it doesn't go to waste. There's a way to validate that content and reward people for it. The whole point here is, can we take people's experiences of pain and use them to help somebody overcome a future painful experience? That's it. And the more that people communicate their experience, let's say that Genie wants to go ahead and get his mom healthy. Well, great. You know the basics. Carry your head, move the body, get some ormus. If you can help your mom learn those 3 basics, I promise you she'll make her way back. Now, all you need is a program that is specific to her current level of fitness, correct?
100%, yeah.
So she says she's down to move. She tells you she's willing to move Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but Saturdays and Sundays are hers. Perfect. So you ask me, because obviously we have a program that's 3 times a week for seniors or for beginners or for children. And so what it does is you select 3 times a week, you select your level of fitness, and then you have your program. If the person completes all the workouts, tracks the workouts, and at least achieves 90% or higher, they'll be rewarded in XDC.
It's amazing.
That's simple.
And you know what, man? I think I'm going to start to kind of bring it all to a close there with this, because
No problem.
you've wrapped up everything into the simplest nature that it can be put. And I think that's a great way to kind of bring this amazing chat to a close.
I'm sure it won't be the last one, man. So don't worry. We'll talk.
I'm telling you what, this is definitely not going to be the last one. So we're going to have to keep this up without a doubt. But
yes,
I kind of want to, before we completely bring it to an end, obviously you are on the socials. So just let people know kind of where they can find you on social media. I know you've got your YouTube channel, and then also with your business and your dream and everything you're aspiring to. So
thank you, fam. I appreciate that, man. Seriously, the opportunity to even just connect on here, being able to give me the time for your audience to hopefully find some value. I know we've been talking for a really long time. You found me early when I got back on Twitter. I took 2 years away from social media. And this is kind of why you said you didn't really see me much.
Yeah.
I really focused on Instagram and Facebook initially, but then I realized like I didn't have a message. I wasn't doing it for the people. I had the wrong intention. I did not need to be out there. And so I decided to take 2 years away. My wife and I had some great growth together. And I was able to realign the vision and come back to the people with a message.
Yeah.
And the message is simple, rebuild yourself and challenge yourself daily so that way your body never gets used to what's easy. It's always ready for more. And so the only way that I felt that I can get this message across correctly was to finally come out from behind the business and explain what my business was, because the name of the business originally was Bay Life. And Bay Life means be about your life. And be about your life to me is the only thing that matters. It was a message to myself to remind myself that I didn't have to lie to myself about who I was. It's about being honest about who you are, regardless of where you're at in life. And so Bay Life is how people could find me. Be about your life. If they want to find me on YouTube, it's Be About Your Life is the name of the channel. If they want to find me on Twitter, Be About Your Life is the name of the channel, or the Twitter feed or whatever. And the business is called Barcore. We combined Bitcoin and parkour, if you want to call it that. And we brought the world of Bitcoin and crypto together. At first, when we were talking about it, it was a joke. We're like, yeah, let's pay the people to work out. Every time that they do a handstand, we're going to pay them X amount. And it was a really funny idea, but I said, fuck that. That's a dope idea. I'm going to go make that happen.
Yeah.
And, I'd love to have you on board. If you ever want to go ahead and have a little bit more influence over the way we move things around, you are a personal trainer. You are someone who's very knowledgeable in the body. I think our community could benefit from it. You say the word, I'll get you on the decentralized health organization. And, if you don't mind me, this would be a chance for anybody who really does feel like they're qualified to be a part of this mission, to join this decentralized autonomous organization. I'm not the judge. I'm not the filter.
Yeah.
The whole point here is that people who want to be a part of the decentralized autonomous organization have to be a node holder or investor, or if they want to participate in our decentralized health organization and provide insight as to the way that the world should hopefully move and become one of these leaders for the people, I definitely would love to hear from them, because there is no restrictions. It just have to have one simple thing, and your mission's got to be to help the world.
Yeah.
You know, if you're willing to go ahead and give up 10 minutes for the world or 10 minutes for another person and just be, you know, selfless, that's all we're looking for. Selfless souls who really want to see the world evolve towards a better state.
Well, Johnny, my man, I'm gonna wrap it up there.
Thank you, bro.
That was beautiful. Everything about what you have said in our chat today has been, honestly, some of it's been breathtaking. I've been sitting here and I've been getting goosebumps just listening to you.
Thank you, fam.
For everyone listening, all of Johnny's info is going to be in the description below. So if you do want to get in contact with him about this potential opportunity or just check him out on any of his socials, make sure to head down to the description and check him out there. And trust me, some of the info on his YouTube especially is absolutely fire. So if you want to know how you can progress in your own evolution and about the coming new world, then make sure to go and check that out. But I'm going to bring it to a close here. Much love to all of you listening, and I hope you have all felt or at least gained some value from this. But yeah,
you're the man, bro. Thank you for having me.